G'day guys, Charlie here from Deutz-Fahr, New Zealand. We're out here today with our 5100 DV Powershift. Now this tractor is part of our specialist product offering for our sort of narrow road configurations. These are our narrowest configuration we've got beside me here in the V, which sits just under 1.2. We also offer it in an S or an F configuration, which range between 1.2 at the narrowest and up to 1.6 at its widest configuration. This one's a 3-cylinder, 100 horsepower, so nice and short wheelbase and manoeuvrable, but they range from 80 horsepower up to 110 horsepower on these tractors. So depending on what you're planning on putting on the back, there's plenty of range and scope for them. We're going to dive in and take a bit of a closer look at some of the features on this tractor, including the Cat 4 cab filtration system, as well as some other configurability options on these machines that'll really tailor them to your specialist operation. Let's go have a look. So our 5100 DV range is powered by our Fahr Motion engine, which is an engine built in-house by Deutz-Fahr themselves. It's the same base of engine that we use up in our ag tractors, right up to 135 horsepower. This one's obviously shrunk down a bit to fit into the narrow configuration, but the block itself is very much the same. So we offer it in either a 3-cylinder or a 4-cylinder version, the 3-cylinder being a 2.8 litre and the 4-cylinder being a 3.8. Nice and compact, nice and torquey for a 4-cylinder engine, so you get a nice flat torque curve, so if you're working on hills or anything like that, you get really good low down power and get that power to the ground and keep those wheels turning over. It's Tier 5 version, this one, so we got our large capacity fuel tank up on the side there, which is nice and narrow within inside the frame, and then for our AdBlue tank we can either access it under the flap in the bonnet here, which just pulls up, or you can also obviously get to it by lifting the bonnet. So yeah, nice little AdBlue tank there. Keeps it nice and easy for accessing and filling up. Power core air filter at the front, so all your heavy powdery dust is blown out before it passes through the filter itself, which obviously keeps your downtime maintenance to a minimum. And there's a couple of screens in the cooling package there that you slide out for cleaning any debris or anything that's built up within those. All your servicing and everything is relatively easy. You've got the 2 panels on the side that simply unbolt, so you can take those apart to access your filters or anything like that. And then everything else is all nice and easy to access, so even though it's tight and compact, everything's laid out relatively well to make it easier to get to. So around the front end, depending on what your sort of operation requires, we've got a few different configuration options. This is our standard New Zealand specs. We just bring these in standard with a weight bolster on the front, so we can sling suitcase weights on the front to help keep the nose down and get that power to the ground. Otherwise you can go to a mounting plate style system for mounting trimmers or anything off the front there. Or from factory you can also configure these with front linkage and PDO as well. The front axle themselves, we've obviously got our 4-wheel braking being part of the Deutz-Fahr range, very well known feature that's quite popular on these tractors, towing big sprayers and things like that. You get the extra stopping power. And there's also an option from factory to go with front suspension on these too, so to increase that ride comfort or to stop the front from moving around as much if you are running any trimming gear or anything on the front there too. So around the back of the machine, there's again even more configurability to suit whatever you're doing. So we've got a 3-speed PDO, so we've got 540 economy and 1000. So if you're running a sprayer or anything like that, that doesn't require as much horsepower but still needs that PDO speed, you can chuck it into economy, you save yourself a bit of fuel. In terms of your towing attachments, you've got your adjustable tow eye or your tow hitch on the ladder, so you can slide that up and down to suit your drawbar height for your trailed implement. And you've also got 2 points of adjustment for your 3-point linkage, so we can slide our hook ends in and out by loosening the bolts on the back here, and we can also adjust the total width of those arms with the slide plates on the side of the ladder hitch as well. We have 3 pairs of remotes across the back, and there's a flow adjustment on those as well, and then 2 of these remotes are duplicated at the mid mounts around the side of the tractor also. It's got a free flow return as well as standard, so you can have your straight return to tank, so you don't have to add any sort of modifications to that. There's a dump that goes back into the tank on those. In terms of your lighting, you've got your LED strips on each side of the cab, and that's both on the rear and on the front. And then up on top we've got our adjustable spotlights as well, so you can face those out into the vine or into the orchard depending on where you're working or what you're trying to see when you are working at night. So up here in the cab, this is obviously quite a bit of an overhaul from some of the previous models. Still has the same colour coding, obviously, being Deutz-Fahr, we run that throughout all our tractors. But this features our Cat 4 cab, which is actually the same cab we run on our TTV specialist tractors. So the advantage with this tractor, or this cab on this tractor, is it has a electronic diverter for your air intake. So when you're working with a sprayer, you press our Cat 4 bit button up behind us here, and that will divert the airflow through the Cat 4 filter. So that protects you against all those harsh chemicals and that sort of thing when you're inside the cab. So the cab's nice and pressurised, so it keeps everything out. And then when you're not spraying or doing anything where you require that extra filtration, you simply turn the system off. It diverts the air back through your paper filters, and that way you're not using up the charge or the carbon within your carbon filters. So it's a really good system, very easy to use, and incredibly safe for yourself and your operators, which is obviously the main point at the end of the day. Inside the cab is again got the nice flat platform that also features in our TDV machines. So when you're working in these narrow tractors in a long day, you've got nice room, you can sort of move your legs around, you're not stuck in one rigid position the whole day. The steering column itself folds up nice and high, so for access in and out of the machine it's nice and easy, and then you simply press the pedal and pull that towards you. And we've also got our telescopic adjustment as well for adjusting that to suit the operator. Around on the side here, obviously our 3 levers for our 3 pairs of remotes. So again, nice and ergonomic. We've got an armrest there, so everything sits nice and comes and falls nicely to hand. All the features you'd expect. You've got electronic hand throttle with engine memory, so when you're recalling those engine speeds frequently, you can just hit them as you need them. So you can have like a working speed and your headland speed and just change between the two. On the transmission on these machines, so we run a 5-gear with a 3-stage power shift, and we've also got 3 ranges. And then there's a clutch button on the front of the joist of the gear stick as well. So instead of having to use a clutch pedal to change gears, we can simply hold in the button and shift it through those gears. Your 3 ranges are on the plunger style shifter down the side here, so you can drop that into the lower gears or the lower ratios and get those real nice slow speeds for when you're spraying and doing that sort of thing where you need to be working a bit slower and more accurately. All your hitch and everything, it's a very familiar system from the older models and other models we've got within this range, so very easy to use. You've got an electronic up and down for lifting and lowering implements such as mulches, so you're just constantly going up and down between the 2 set points. All your 4-wheel drive and axle system management control is all on the side here, so it comes nice to hand, so your diff locks and things like that. And we also feature stop and go on these machines, so similar to our ag machines and some of our other tractors within this range, instead of having to use the clutch when you're coming to a stop, you can simply put your foot on the brake and that will disengage drive, and then when you release the brake it'll re-engage the drive and you can carry on doing your tasks that you're working on. For all your light and controls and everything, they're all up behind you here, so again very easy to get to. It's a nice big 4-post cab, so even though it's a small tractor, being 1.2 wide, you still get a nice field of view. Very narrow pillars, so you've got a really good visibility throughout the cab, so whether you're working at the front, down the middle or out the back, you can see exactly what you're working on. It's all nice and easy to access. So there you go, that's a quick walk around of our Deutz-Fahr 5100 DV Powershift. If you'd like to find out more about these tractors or any of the other tractors within this range, you can jump online to our Deutz-Fahr website or go down to your local power farming dealership and talk to one of our experienced sales guys, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction. Cheers.